Hello everyone, it's me Beata from horoscopesandreadings.com, and in today's video I would like to discuss Scorpio's feelings. This topic is rather huge, but in today's video I would like to take a look on how Scorpio feels, how they process feelings, and what is actually happening with them when something happens to them. Okay, so first of all, we really have to understand that as tough as Scorpio appears on the outside, it is really just a mask. It is really just their poker face. Scorpio zodiac sign is eighth sign of the zodiac. That means that it's really represented by eighth house in astrology. Now, eighth house is indeed water house. That means that Scorpio sign is water sign. Scorpio sign is also fixed sign, but surprisingly, Scorpio sign is feminine sign. So what this all means in practice is that as stubborn as Scorpio really is, they have some sort of different part of themselves which is really overly sensitive. And you know what? They are painfully aware of this. That's why they simply try to, let's say, pretend or look certain way. Don't really get emotionally drift away something on the outside, okay? Because we are only discussing their outside appearance now. All water signs, Pisces, Cancer, if you will, they all are the same when it comes to their feelings, but only in a sense. There is some sort of cloudiness around them, and these signs are sort of difficult to grasp or to really understand, or to really be very precise or exact on where they come from or where they stand with you, because it is simply the nature of the water, right? Water is very flowing, and especially Pisces are this way, but this video is more stable because it is about Scorpio, and Scorpio is fixed sign. Now, if you are Scorpio, or if you have strong Scorpio in your chart, or you know someone who is Scorpio, typically their life, especially emotional or feeling life, is very different from what they show to the world or on the outside. If you know Scorpio people, they really seem or pretend to be very tough. Whatever happens, they appear very cool, very calm, very collected, even aloof, a little bit aloof, detached, reserved. Okay, whatever happens, in the minute that it happened, they are like this. You don't see them having like outbursts of anger as Aries people might have, or something like breakdown in public. No, if Scorpio people, they would never do this. Okay, they appear that they are the ones who really have everything together, despite of what is really happening to them on the outside. So trust me on this, that if you confront a Scorpio guy with anything in the world, and I mean really anything, they will still appear like this, very silent, very cool, really no emotions here. But if you know what is really going on, you would understand. Well, if something bad happens to them, like some sort of betrayal, or really betrayal of trust is a big one for them, is probably the biggest thing that can happen to them. It hurts so bad that they are simply becoming sort of frozen. And what I have observed, that the more pain is caused to them, the more calm they appear on the outside. Okay, so don't really get fooled by their, look. Emotions or feelings when something bad happens to them are so deep and are so raw at that moment that it cannot go any higher. So they just become to appear that they just don't care, and that simply just really nothing happened. But opposite is the truth here. Well, we have some other zodiac signs that they really like to discuss their emotions or what happened to them. They really simply have to discuss it, and then they can simply get over it, like Gemini sign. If you have moon in Gemini, you really know what I'm talking about here. And I believe it's, pretty healthy attitude. But with Scorpio or in general water signs, they are really not talkers of the zodiac. So don't try to really push Scorpio people to talk about what they feel, especially when something bad happened to them. You will pretty much don't get an answer, and you will pretty much don't get any access to them. So this is really not recommend them to really push them to talk about it. Let's talk about it, let's figure this out, because when things are happening to Scorpio, it is always something which is very private, which is very deep, and it is really difficult for me to really verbalize it, but it is something that definitely cannot be put into the words, but pain simply must be felt. And this is what they do, because typical reaction of any Scorpio if something bad happens to them is that they withdraw. Okay, and I have my video about Scorpio's withdrawal, and they simply need to withdraw to process what happens to them. I believe that when it comes to their withdrawal from you, but it is really not only from you but from outside world, they are like in different state of mind and time. Okay, so they pretty much don't care about what time is it. They don't care about your requests, demands, wishes at that time. If they are withdrawal, time simply doesn't exist, and pretty much anyone doesn't exist for them at that time, because they are alone with their pain. And what Scorpio really knows the best is how to feel the pain. They say that time heals everything, right? But I would disagree with this, especially when it comes to Scorpio. Scorpio sign is really not the sign that will, get over it just simply because of time. They don't care about the time, they care about the pain and what they really felt at that moment. And I still believe that some parts of them, like wounds, are still with them, because whatever happened to them in the past, they are carrying it with them to future. So they are really, influenced by everything, and that is why some Scorpio people simply become a bit resentful or bitter as they are older, because they simply feel that life is really just not fair, and it is very difficult for them to trust. So once again, everything what is happening or what happened to Scorpio is really very deep, very psychological, and it is really striking them on very deep level. So if you hurt Scorpio, don't expect that they will forgive you like immediately. You know, quite frankly, typical Scorpio guy just doesn't forgive and forget. That is the truth, because you know, once they have opened up to you, or they open your heart to you and you somehow betray them, well, I believe that there is no way back. Scorpio sign is controlling sign, and that is actually another reason why they are like masters in controlling their emotions on the outside. You know, but on the inside things are happening, and that sensitive and very private part of them is very fragile, and they just don't want to give it to anyone. So winning the trust is also sort of long process, but they really care to really be in control of what is happening in their life. So having Scorpio guy be in love with someone is something that makes them to be very vulnerable and even powerless to their own emotions, and they know that. That's why it is also very, you know, very slow process for Scorpio guy to fall in love and commit. It is like another thing which is, you know, very slow. You know, guys, this zodiac sign is such a complex, and it is not for everybody, right? These people are very charismatic, very magnetic, you know, very sexual, and we all want to have them. But trust me on this, having a relationship with this guy, like long-term commitment, it is not for everyone. You know, if you have Moon in Scorpio, you will definitely handle them very well, because you are actually the same and you understand their needs, okay? So once again, remember, I like to compare their feelings to iceberg, because we only see the top of the iceberg, okay? But we really don't see what is happening here. But this is where it's at. This is their inner world, their inner rich emotional world. But they decided to keep it hidden in front of everyone, okay? So don't get fooled, don't be fooled, don't think that your Scorpio guy simply is, you know, just that bastard and doesn't have any feelings, because opposite is actually the truth. And they are so sensitive that they really need to shut down in front of public and everyone, and to really be on their own, okay? So these are really pretty much introverts of the zodiac, but on the other hand they are very powerful, and this is what makes them that, you know, very appealing to women, because they have these parts of their personality that are very, let's say, authentic and truthful, and this is what makes them very, very special, right, in the eyes of women. But you know, really they are very fragile, and that's why they definitely, you know, require, let's say, a special approach, right? You simply have to be sensitive when you are with them, but on the other hand you also have to be powerful, okay? Because, you know, if you are just that girl who will really do whatever they ask you to do, there will be no respect, and this is what they require as well if they are able to commit to someone. So it is really like, you know, that there's happening a lot of things with them at the same time. This is my feeling about them, but you know, yeah, once again, I wish you all the best with your Scorpio guy. If you have any questions when it comes to their feelings, or whatever you want to ask me, feel free to type it in the comments. Or if you want me to check your relationship horoscope with your Scorpio guy, I can offer you readings. It is actually, a lot of types of readings. Just check my website horoscopesandreadings.com. There's plenty of free stuff as well. You can, read about astrology if you like it, if it is your interest. And I'll be back next week with super cool videos. Bye bye.